happy Thursday. It's roughly, not exactly or approximate, 4 o'clock Arizona time, but we are getting pretty darn close. I decided I would actually hop on here a little bit early today. I have the littles upstairs. Hopefully they will cooperate, and I actually have all 4 dogs in this teeny little office film studio. So hopefully, keeping my fingers crossed, that they will actually remain quiet. We shall see. There is a lot of housekeeping I need to cover, but first and foremost, of course, one of the dogs now wants out. Here, let me let them out, and then hopefully that will settle everything down. Go on, out. Go. Do you want to go out too? You have to stay. Be quiet. My biggest dream is to have an actual film studio where all I have to do is like plop myself in the room, and then I don't have to deal with dogs or kids or husbands or any of that other stuff, right? So I've had a couple questions that were asked of me this week. So instead of picking a topic that I had predetermined, we're actually going to forego that and maybe discuss it next week. Next week is Christmas, so I'm still on the fence whether or not I will have a live or not next week. But I'm, for the most part, unless something major happens, I probably will have a live. But I will let you know either way. And it's as you guys know, I have someone who comes and cleans my house every Thursday. And it's a workout because I have 22 birds, 4 dogs, 2 kids, and a husband. And my house needs it every single time. So my little housekeeper, who is also part of this group, I won't say who it is, but she left me a Christmas card. So I'm going to open it up because Christmas cards do what? They equal tips, right? So she left me a little card, a Merry Christmas card. And it gives you, when you get a Christmas card, you get all warm and fuzzy, at least I do. And it just says Merry Christmas. And she signed it, and it was enclosed. So it's a reminder that she does a good job. She does a great job every time, and she's worth every penny. And it's just something that's just extra special for your clients to give. So when you get a card, and this is what the card looks like, it just says Merry Christmas. Make sure that you are giving your helpers cards if they don't have the funds to do it themselves, depending on if they're 1099s or W-2s. Usually you can buy them in bulk, and I've always recommend that you buy them after Christmas so you have them on supply for next year and you can get started early, because we used to handwrite over 400 cards every single season. So that is just something to remind yourself. So that's how Christmas cards equal tips, right? Hi, Yvonne, how are you? That it's important that you yourself are giving out Christmas cards, and just leave it on the counter, and it's just warm wishes. And then, or your crew, you give your crew the Christmas cards, they can take them home and then write them. And it helps prime the pump for tips for your cleaning crew or yourself, if it's just you doing it out yourself still. And that's how you get Christmas tips, right? They should do it, but sometimes they need a visual prompt, right? I, of course, on another note, on a more serious and somber note, for those of you who don't know, I lost my younger brother in 2019, and I actually went out and bought Christmas cards this year, and they've just sat there. I'm still stuck emotionally, because it was around Christmas. He died the 29th of December in 2019. So I have Christmas cards, and I have not begun to write them, so I am going to be sending them out, but they're going to be late. So if you get a late Christmas card from me, you're just going to have to live it. I actually have not done Christmas cards in the last couple of years because of him passing away. So I do have the cards, and I am, if you're on my list, I will snail mail you a Christmas card. So yeah, I'm having some sort of emotional block, so I'm going to work through that, and then maybe I'll have a glass of wine and do the Christmas cards that way. Who knows? But in any case, the next question that I had for you guys was, do I need to 1099 myself? If you are it's me, myself, and I, and you are the only one running the show, no, you do not. Unless you're an S Corp, then it's different. You would be paying yourself a paycheck, and your structure is entirely different. But more than likely, if you're solo, you're going to be a sole proprietor, or you're going to be a limited liability company. In that case, You do not need to 1099 yourself. If you had made enough income to actually pay yourself a paycheck, you could do it that way too, depending on the state. LLCs are some of the states you have to write yourself a check, and then other states, like in Arizona, you just do an owner's draw. I can cut myself a paycheck if I wanted. I've done it both ways, and I've never had an issue with that piece of the filings or anything, but you can do both. So obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so please check with your tax person or whoever your accountant is to be sure that the information I'm giving you is legit. So you don't need to give yourself a 1099. And remember, the most important thing about a 1099, hi, Cece, how are you, is the fact that you only have to 1099 someone if they've earned over $600 or more. That actually might change. I have no control over the current administration and whatever is going on over there. I just go by the rules, and I work within the boundaries that they give me, right? As you guys all know, if you have a Venmo account or any other way of transferring money, anything over $600 is going to be reported, and you will get a 1099 from them. Be prepared for it. That means that every time you nicked over $600, you are going to be taxed on it. And by law, it's always been $600. It's just now that all of the cash apps and everything are tracking Zelle, all that stuff, because the government wants the tax money, right? So make sure that you understand what the parameters are. So if you have a helper and they are a W-2, then obviously you're not going to 1099 them. You're going to give them their W-2, right? And then you're going to send your W-2s. Either you're going to submit them by hand or you're going to submit them electronically. There is a fee for either one. If you do it by hand, you have to actually put a postage stamp on there and mail them off to the right corresponding government agency. If you submit them electronically and you have a payroll provider like Gusto, I believe, at least it was that way last year, they will just they'll submit them electronically for you, and it was like $1.99. It was, and it could be because Gusto was new. It used to be $10 each when you did them through Intuit payroll. So it just depends on the payroll provider and what the services are and what's going on, but they can be submitted electronically or snail mail. So anything over $600. So now if you have an independent contractor and they've been helping you out for months and months and months, you need to 1099 them. Don't get yourself in trouble because they're going to want to file their own taxes and see if they qualify for any benefits or whatever is going on with the government at that time. So no, you do not need to 1099 yourself if it's just you. If you have others who are helping you, as in other 1099s, other vendors, then yes, anything over $600 is something that you are required to report to the government because they want a tax. They want their cut, right? So that is super important, and I hope that clears up any confusion. I know we briefly kind of mentioned a little bit about tax deduction. So we're getting close to the end of the year. You should kind of know where you're going to finish off fourth quarter, which is literally in 2.5 weeks. And then you should start to get all your paperwork ready, right? So you would go through your emails and you would check those off and print out all of your subscriptions. Like, for example, we would print off all of our jobber.com because that's my digital calendar system. And then they would be paper clipped and then they're put in an organization if they're not already in QuickBooks. And then they're piled together and then we just kind of power through it. This year we're actually in a pretty good space, so I won't have a lot of filling in. Sometimes we would just get so slammed and no one would have time to get anything until the end of the year. So when we were closed for the week and a half, it would be the time that everyone had to, the bookkeeper and I would have to play catch up sometimes, depending on how the year went. But this year we're in good shape and we've been on top of it, and it's going to be interesting to see, where those numbers are. I have a good general idea of the numbers that I'll finish at for all three businesses. So it will be interesting to see. And I'm proud of myself that I had, I didn't wait until the last minute. And it happens. Don't beat yourself up over it. It just happens, right? Life gets busy. We have littles. We have family depending on us. We have dinner obligations. I have other Zoom meetings that I attend. I have other associations I'm part of. So we're kind of squeezed in there. So if you don't have it all ready, just make sure that you start to prep, right? Go through your emails, figure out which ones you need, print them out so you can get them into your file. And I do my taxes myself, and then I have an accountant look it over. Well worth, I think she charges me way under with the market value. She charged me $150 to look at my things to make sure I've submitted. I'm getting all my tax breaks, and off it sends. Hi Amanda, how are you? So that's how I do mine. Yours could be similar to my situation, or it could be entirely different. But it's worth it to have an extra pair of eyes look at it, because then you get all fuzzy when you're trying to figure out which deductions to take. If you do TurboTax, it's TurboTax for business. And depending on how they work it each year, there's the TurboTax personal, and then there's the TurboTax business. And then I believe there's a TurboTax professional. I usually do the professional one only because I have 3 businesses to manage and deduct and all the other stuff. Just makes it way easier. You don't have to file 3 separate companies and buy 3 separate things of software. You just put them all in there. It says, ta-da, you're either getting money back or that you owe, right? So I hope that makes it easier to understand. There are some real basic things that you automatically can deduct your cell bill if you use it for business. I highly recommend when you get to a certain point that you do add on a second line so that you don't have your clients calling you at 9 o'clock at night, right? That's never fun. Oh, you forgot to put the pillow back on the bed the right way. And you're like, this is seriously what you're calling me about, right? Been there. So, and you can write off your cell bill. You can write off your car payment. If you have a car payment and you're using it as a deduction to write off your mileage. I saw a post from somebody else who got dinged because they got audited, and that they now have said that you can't deduct your mileage in your car unless you have business insurance. So I would check into that. It's I haven't had that issue myself personally, but he had to pay. I saw 2 checks he wrote. One was $4,000. The other one was, I think, $2,300. So it is something to be on the lookout for. I'm not saying that you're going to be your situation, but definitely double check to make sure that, so you can take all of your mileage will be your largest deduction every single year, depending on how many miles you drive, and make sure that you track your miles and that you have another vehicle to use so you get a full deduction instead of part of a deduction. Any if you and I went out to lunch and we discussed business, we could actually write off 50% of that tab. In some cases, you can write off 100%. Like if you have a Christmas party for your employees and you ended up having to pay and you didn't trade, you'd be able to write off 100% of that bill. So there's just ways to work around things, and I just want you to be fully aware of what you're getting yourself into. What other weird things? Cell bill, car payment, auto insurance, any uniform. So if you like a certain, I know I'm reiterating from last week and the week before, but I'm trying to prepare you guys because not everyone catches the videos. So, like if you like a certain type of work pants, you could deduct those. Obviously your mani-pedis can't be written off. It would be nice, but no, your pet visits can't be written off, even though I think that you should be able to. I remember one year I traveled extensively and I had to have them go to doggy daycare while I was gone because I didn't have anyone to take care of them, and they wouldn't let me write it off. I was really mad because it was like I wouldn't, had I not traveled, I wouldn't have had to put them in there, right? But in my eyes, I was like, I want to deduct this, and they're like, no, you can't deduct that. I'm like, ugh. I was miffed. So just make sure that there is a lot of common tax deductions that you can take for your business. If you had any seed money, sometimes we're lucky enough to have seed money to start our businesses. Hi, Wendy. And other times we're not lucky enough to have seed money. But if you have seed money, make sure that you, in your mind, you've decided, am I going to deduct all my seed money this year, or am I going to break it into 2 payments? Hi, Fran. So those things are important for you to consider if you're going to deduct those or not. Obviously, if you have helpers and their W-2s, you know, labor, workman's comp, payroll taxes, those are all going to be legitimate deductions. And, you know, any software that you used to help facilitate that, like any payroll programs, any merchant fees that you paid, these are all normal things that you can deduct. So I hope that answers the question for should I 1099 myself. I do have a couple of announcements. So in case there is someone on here who doesn't know who the hell I am, because I always get talking and then I forget. My name is actually Shannon Miller, and I am the owner of a cleaning company here in the great state of Arizona. and it is called MaidBroker.com. I have been in the cleaning industry for over a decade, and I also run Clean Freaks University, where I teach other cleaning business owners how to run the back end of their business instead of being run over by their business. And it's super exciting to watch you guys all grow. I'm excited to be part of the process. So if you are watching this on replay, if you can type hashtag replay, or if you could leave a comment, that does help with the algorithms, and it Facebook pushes the video up higher in the group versus not. So like say hey, or it doesn't have to be anything sophisticated. Or you could write something sophisticated if you want, or if you had a question. Excuse me. I did put a post out earlier today, and basically I announced that I was doing a marketing mastermind. It's really basic. We're not going to do any, Romeo and Juliet ad copy email template scenarios. We're going to do some old-fashioned ad copy and ad campaigns, and we're going to all do them together. So the very first ad campaign that we are going to do is got a gift card that you hate for Christmas, and you're going to trade it in, and it'll be worth the price, double the price. So if you have a $50 gift card and you can exchange it in, as long as it's a legitimate gift card. You'll have to due diligence, I'm sure. It's worth $100 for the cleaning, so $50 gets you $100. And we're going to go through it all together, and it's going to be like $9 a meeting. So the price of a really expensive latte at one of those sophisticated swanky coffee places. And I think it's going to be fun. So I have a total mapped out schedule of what we're going to do for January, what we're going to do for February, what we're going to do for March. It'll just be 2 meetings, 30 minutes each. We'll discuss what we've learned, what we didn't learn, what worked for us, what didn't work, and exchange a lot of ideas. So I think it'll be fun to get the juices flowing. I also have the free round table coming up in January, and those will be done quarterly, and it's only open to the first 100 people who hop on, because Zoom will only allow you 100 people to hop on at one time. It will be recorded, and I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with the recording, if I'm going to provide it for the group or not. It'll kind of be, you have to kind of catch it kind of thing. I haven't quite worked out all the details of that. So that is super exciting. I also have found out, speaking of taxes, that they have kind of done an interesting thing with digital products. So when I first started selling digital products, I was told that I didn't need to charge sales tax. Well, upon, searching, it's now been decided, I guess, by the state that they want you to charge sales tax. So now on January 1st, I have to start charging for like the Pricing Blueprint Masterclass, the Move Out Cleaning Masterclass, all of those classes that I have created. Even though it's educational, I have to start charging sales tax. So what I have done is I have decided that I'm going to teach 2 to 3 more sessions of the Structure, Scale, and Profit Cleaning Business Academy. And then after that, it'll be offered digitally, and then sales tax will be applicable at that time. Anything that I do live, like one-on-one coaching, I don't have to charge tax on, but anything that is recorded and delivered in an automated way is required. They are requiring me to start charging sales tax. And I'm doing that now, because I don't want to do this 3 years from now and they go, oh, and by the way, you owe us 25 grand. It's just like, oh. So I am working out the kinks for that. So if you are wanting to get your business on track, it's 10 weeks on Zoom with me in a group environment, and we go over very specific topics to systemize your business, get your business on track, or if you're starting your business, it'll give you the structure you need to get up off the ground and go. So that's what I found out. So I had gotten some, I don't want to say misadvice, but when you started to dig around, because I asked like 7 or 8 people, and they're like, well, I don't think you have to charge. I'm like, I don't know, I better check. So that's what's going on with the Structure, Scale. Hi, Kimmy, how are you? Structure, Scale, and Profit Cleaning Business Academy. Kimmy has released her organizers, I believe, very soon, if not now. And I'm going to be purchasing 3 of them to give away inside the group. So that'll be a fun giveaway at the beginning of the year. And I'm going to work out some sort of contest for them, and then we'll just give them shipped to your house. So she's been a busy girl. She made them all by hand. They're pretty extravagant, and very detailed, and I'm excited to get them in my hot hands, right? So that's what's going on with me. Did you guys have any questions about anything that's coming up? We're getting close to the end of the year, and I'm getting excited. Let's kind of skate to the end. Skate to the end. Hi, Bree. How are you? No questions today that I can see. So, yeah, that's what's exciting. I know Kim was working on some new products, and she has, and I'm probably going to butcher this. We were talking about it today. I'm really sorry, Kim. It was the not dryer sheets, laundry sheets. So you, I'm brand new to this, so please don't be brutal with me. The laundry sheets are really cool. They come in a container. You plop one in your hand. It's a sheet, right? Like not like a piece of paper, but it is thin. And you throw it in your laundry and you're done. It's a really easy peasy way. It's an all natural product. I would believe so. I haven't really confirmed that with her. She can tell you guys in the comments if you have questions. So the dryer sheets are coming. She has her her organizer book that's coming out, and I believe she's working on a couple of other things. She is just a busy worker, that one. So that's what's going on with me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And yes, laundry sheets. Thank you, Kim. It's just, we get talking about so many things, and I talk to so many people. Sometimes I get everything all kind of mixed up in my brain because I'm all over the place. So I hope I've answered the questions. If you need to 1099 yourself, you do not. If it's you, me, myself, and I, if it's me, myself, and others, then you would have to 1099 them if they made over $600. Anyway, thank you for popping on here, and I look forward to your questions. Take care.